Hi guys, I'm Vinu and welcome to my channel. Are you thinking about buying your first digital SLR? So I hope you will be shooting with your point and shoot camera or maybe a smartphone and you wanted to take that jump from getting a little more serious about photography. So I've been using the entry-level Canon 1300D for quite a while now. So we'll discuss about what all things you need as a beginner photographer. So let's get started. So guys, here is the camera. It's a fairly compact camera when compared to much higher end digital SLRs. It's very lightweight, and I have this camera now paired with an 18 to 135mm kit lens. This lens actually comes as a kit with the higher end models like the 80D or the 70, etc. This is an old lens. You can also purchase this camera with the 18 to 55mm lens, which is very inexpensive, and it comes as a kit with this camera. So the menu layout and the buttons are straightforward. So basically you have the navigation and quick control buttons and menu buttons over here. So, and you have the power on button and the main mode dial, the command dial, the shutter release, the pop-up flash, and there is nothing on the other side. And here we have a flap which has a remote shutter release input, a micro USB port, and an HDMI port. So basically, I'll turn on the camera. So when you are starting up, you can start with the auto option. This is basically the camera is doing everything for you, and then you have other modes like the flash off, creative auto, portrait mode if you're shooting portraits, landscape, macro, close-up shots, sports mode if you're shooting some action. Then you have the food mode if you're capturing food. Then we have the night portrait, and then finally the video mode. So this camera can record full HD videos at 25 or 30 frames per second and 720p videos at 30 or 60 frames per second. So when you are advancing from the auto mode, you have the creative options here, like the program mode. This is basically where you can control the ISO, and you can use the mode dial and control the exposure compensation. Then you have the time value or the shutter priority. What this basically does is you can use the command dial to adjust the shutter speed, and you can control the ISO. The aperture is controlled by the camera. Then you have the AV mode or the aperture priority mode. So here the command dial is used to control the aperture, and the shutter is determined by the camera, and you can adjust the ISO and you can adjust the exposure compensation. Then we have the manual mode. So this basically is you're controlling everything. You control the shutter speed, and if you press this AV button here, press and hold it, and you adjust the command dial, you can change the aperture and you can adjust the ISO as well. So this is the Canon 50mm 1.8 prime lens. It is a very good lens and it's not that expensive. It comes around 8,500 rupees. The main advantage of having a prime lens is that it can open up pretty wide. So this lens can actually go up to aperture value of 1.8, which lets in a lot more light than your kit lens, and you can get a good background blur so that your subject stands out. I use this lens primarily for portrait photography. It's a very good lens. You have autofocus and manual focus select buttons over here, and this is an STM lens, which means that it can focus very fast. Overall, it's a good value for money lens. The one thing which I don't like about this camera is that even though you can shoot 1080p Full HD video, you don't have autofocus during video. So what you need to do is you need to set the focus first and then start shooting. And for me, I would like to have continuous focus or servo focus during videos. So if you want to do vlogging, or if you want to shoot kids playing and things like that, it is always better to have a camera with full-time autofocus during video, which this particular camera lacks. So I think that's a drawback. All the other models which are higher than the 1300D now have autofocus during video, like the 700D, the 800D, the newer version like the 200, etc. All of them have continuous autofocus during video. Other than that, this is a good camera for anybody who is starting to learn photography. So all the menus and buttons are right in here. You don't want to go into multiple menus and other things to do or change the main settings like ISO, autofocus, white balance, etc. Everything is right in front of you. It's a very user-friendly camera to learn photography. So that's it, guys. Please click the like button if you like this video and subscribe for more videos like this in future. Thank you so much. See you again.